Hello everyone, I got an interesting video today. It is another commentary video, but it's going to have a lot more depth than my other videos. I'll say some stuff about the gameplay. These are really old Doom 3 BFG edition gameplay that I've been saving in my hard drive. And if you're wondering how I skipped the cutscenes, I just simply edited them out, because you can't skip them in this game, unfortunately. Keep in mind, I'm doing this because I'm a huge fan of Doom, and it's really the game that got me into video game. Also, Doom 4 is by far my most anticipated game out of any game, with the addition of being an id Software fan, and I still want to see these guys making games in the future. With Rage and Doom 3 BFG edition out of the way, I'm going to talk more about Doom 4, and judging from those last two products that id Software released, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm making a list of what Doom 4 should do to be an awesome game for anyone that wants to play it, I guess. I'm so tired of id Software just making so many dumb mistakes and pissing certain fan bases of theirs too. So, let's get started, shall we? So this is number 1. Judging from all of id Software's previous games and Rage, I feel like they need to know what makes a game end with a bang. Not like the original ending of Doom, where E3M8 Disc was the last level, but it's so simplistic and easy because you already have a BFG, and all you gotta do is two-shot that spider mastermind and it's over. That doesn't really give you a good way to end the game, unlike in Quake 1, where the last level they give you all the weapons you have, and the majority of the fight is just you fighting a bunch of Vores and Shamblers, which are the two toughest enemies in Quake, and that's much more satisfying compared to Doom 1's original final level. So for Doom 4, the last level before the cutscene or whatever should be the hardest, or intense at least. I mean, aren't games supposed to get tougher as you get closer to finishing it? Okay, number 2, I don't understand why it is like purposely pissing off their PC fan base. I was so shocked when Rage came out and I heard the PC port was a disaster, because I was hoping id would be smart enough to stay true what they were known for, making PC games. And then there was the BFG edition, which I don't see any real reason to buy it unless you never played Doom 3, but I couldn't believe there was a PC version. They should have just patched it and make it an option if you want to play vanilla Doom 3 or BFG edition. Also, give PC players No Rest for the Living and Lost Mission. All of this stuff should have been free after 2 weeks of release, so there is a pro and con there. You can pay it early and get it early on console, or if you don't want to, you can wait on PC. But I'm not going to talk about BFG edition because I personally thought it was a disservice to the fans. The third one will be about balance and difficulty levels. I really think id needs to take some notes in this section. Rage on Nightmare was literally a joke. Not like in Doom 1 where it was unreasonable, but it's just so easy and it bothers me. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, but I'm not getting a challenge at all. That doesn't make any logical sense, really. id, please go back and play Quake 1 on Nightmare difficulty and take some notes on that. I'm not trying to say that Doom 4 should be one of the hardest FPS or games ever made, but if I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, I need to have some sort of stimulation. Halo Reach isn't the hardest game in the world, but it really engages you in the combat aspect when you play it on Legendary, at least somewhere around that playing field. Make me concentrate on the game and don't reward me for slacking off like in Quake 2 and Rage. Okay, number 4. This one is something called taking steps forward. For example, in Doom 1 and 2, they all had co-op, but in Doom 3, co-op was gone until the Xbox port was made, and now it's back. But in BFG edition, it's gone again. I personally think it needs to have all the previous modes from the original games. It's okay to improve upon or reimagine it to keep things fresh, but you cannot take things out for the newer games. Aren't sequels are supposed to include new things most of the times? It really bothers me when I see a new game of a old franchise, but it takes stuff out like old game modes from the previous games. You're basically sacrificing stuff for nothing, really. I'll give you a free idea. Why not make a mode that is a throwback in Doom 1 and 2, where you try to finish and kill every enemy you can and finish it with speed a la UV Max. That would be a nice way to pay homage to the old games, but the single player will be more than just that. Number 6, boy number 6. This is something that I feel like id Software needs to do. Get involved with the community. Now, I remember looking up at id Software's website way back in like, I think 1998 or 99 or something. And man, I was so disappointed that there wasn't a forum for me to get involved with the community. I think it's time to get with the times. Bungie, Valve, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, etc. They all get involved with the community, and it really helps and make their game better. Why don't you do the same, id? There's just absolutely no reason why you shouldn't communicate with your fans. It seems like developers don't always make the right decision on day one, but that's why they have fans to support them. Number 7, making sure Doom 4 will be called Doom 4. I'm so sick and tired of people trying to replace numbers with words like Reloaded or Resurrection. I just hope Doom 4 is simply Doom 4. It makes sense, even though it won't follow the story of Doom 1 and 2. Well, that's what I'm assuming, but it makes it so much easier to follow the series. If id calls this game Doom, people are going to get confused. Is it the Doom 1, or is it Doom 2013, 2014? This whole idea of naming sequels is so dumb. Just keep it basic. That's all I ask for. Number 8. This is the last one, and it's mostly going to be about gameplay design. With so many FPS games out there, and so many of them being inspired by one particular game, and I'm sure you guys know what game I'm talking about. I believe Doom 4 should adapt some of these, but it should take some risks at the same time. But then again, be familiar to what makes people like the series so much. I would literally freak out if Doom 4 actually has a good and caring storyline, but also be very action-driven at the same time. Judging from Doom 3 and Rage, it seems like id is really trying to make their games more story-driven, but they seem to fall all over the place once you get the basic idea of the game's storyline. Why don't you follow the 3-act structure? I guarantee things will get a lot easier for you once you follow that method. This is by far the hardest part for id to go through. There's an audience that want Doom 4 to be Doom 2 with a couple of adjustments, but doing something like that is very risky for good sales. No good sales, then it just wasted money for nothing, essentially. Even though I love Doom 2, but to my eyes, that would be a lazy move. I mean, it took them 5 years to decide that the new Doom game is Doom 2 with slight adjustments. id wants money. I know some people are going to say, oh, id, they don't care about the fans. The problem is, they're spending a lot of money in this game, and id needs to sell a lot to make up all that cash, basically. Like I said, I think this game should take some risky moves a la Innovation. I would love to see an FPS game that could really standardize other FPS games for the future, rather than just being a straightforward shooter, but being a fun one at the same time. If id could choose one way to revolutionize the FPS genre, I would simply ask them to balance the right mixture of old school and modern FPSs. I have very strong confidence that this game will be what id Software is primarily known for in their games, run and gun. So there you go, you got some sort of old school feel in the game already. Also, looking back at their old games like Doom 1 and 2, Quake 1 and 2, I know these guys can make old school FPSs. The modern part is the tough part. I just hope to God they don't make it like a Call of Duty campaign, but take notes from Rage. I really think Rage had so much potential, like id make the side quests feel like side quests, not mini games. I'll give you an example. Why don't you give me a side mission where it's a tough one compared to a primary mission, but at the end of the side mission I get rewarded with better weapon or whatever that will make my character better. At the end of the day, I just hope for the best for id Software. I'm sure every day these guys go through many challenges and pressure, but as long as they keep their head straight, the game will be fine. Nowadays, I generally don't expect games to be too good, but I'm still hoping Doom 4 will be solid or a lot of fun at least. It's nice to know as days pass by I feel like I'm getting closer to a game from a series that got me into video games. Doom 4 should be a compelling game overall.